Hi guys, this is a review for quiz 7 for Math 120 for stats, and it's got a few questions. This section has to do with confidence intervals. So if you guys went through the notes, a confidence interval is just a range of numbers, like low to high, and it's basically like a prediction of where you think the mean is going to be. You're saying the mean is going to be between this low number and this high number. So interval means range, right? So the first question has to do with confidence intervals. It's in just to be okay. If we want to narrow the confidence interval, which means make the range smaller, what would we have to do? We need a bigger sample size, because the bigger the sample size, the more sure we are that the real mean is within that range. Because think about it, if you just take a really small sample, like, you don't really know how good it's going to be because you only got a few people in the sample, right? But if the bigger the sample you get, you're more confident in your information that's going to be the true population mean that you get. So to narrow your confidence interval, you want to take a bigger sample, because the more that you talk to, the more sure you're going to be that you're getting the right the population mean. So you can shrink down your interval. Okay, so if you decrease the sample size, you're not as sure, so your range is going to get bigger because you're not too sure where the real population mean is. So that will make your interval get wider. So to narrow your confidence interval, to make the numbers smaller, closer together, you need a bigger sample. If you decrease the sample, you're going to stretch it out. Okay, the third question has to do with calculating the confidence interval. So they tell us we want a confidence interval with a 95% confidence level. All right, so that 95% confidence level uses this for your confidence interval. It's the sample mean minus 2 times the standard deviation divided by the square root of n, the population standard deviation. They have to give you that. And that's the low end, and the high end is the mean plus 2 of the standard deviation divided by the square root of n. So in our example, I have to give you the mean weight was 150 for a sample of 25 people. That has to be given. You have to be given that information. You also have to be given what's the population standard deviation. In this case, it's 10. Okay, that's sigma. That's not a 6. That's my sigma. It's 10. So they want us to find the CI. So basically, which is the range of numbers. So basically, you guys, you just got to plug in into this formula. So I think we can do that, right? So let's see. What is our sample mean? That's our X bar. That's 150 minus 2. What's our sigma? That's 10 over the square root of, what's our n? That's our sample size, you guys. That's 25. And then for the high end, you just do plus 2, 10 over the square root of 25. Okay, so now it's just a matter of using your calculator. So you get 150 minus 2, 10 over square root of 25 is 5, right? So it's 10 over 5. And it's 150 plus 2 times 10 over 5. Right? So let's see. 150 minus 10 over 5 is 2, right? So 150 minus 2 times 2. 150 minus 4. That's a 4, you guys. And 150 plus 4. So that would be, so the way you interpret that is you can say, if we did this over and over and over again, and we took samples of 25 people over and over and over again, we would say that 95% of these samples would end up falling in between, have a mean that falls in between these two numbers. That's how you interpret that. Okay, guys? So that's number 3. Number 4, these are kind of like the ones that are in the questions in the bubbles. They ask you, number 4, they give you the CI. So what I mean by CI is interval, right? So they give you two numbers, I have 20.5, comma 26.5. So that's the low end, that's the high end. They want you to find X bar. Well, X bar, basically, guys, is right smack dab in the middle of those two. That's what it is. So X bar is right in the middle. So how do you find the number right in the middle of those two? You add them and you divide by 2. That gives you the midpoint. So I think I get 47 over 2, so that's equal to 23.5, you guys. that's equal to x bar. So if they give you the confidence interval, they want you to find x bar, you just got to find the middle, that's the number that's right in the middle. They might ask you to find something called the EBM. What the heck is that EBM? The EBM is just the 2 times the sigma divided by n. That's like they call it the error bound, right? So they want you to find, so actually like the confidence intervals is this. Right? So if you think about it, you guys, the range, like the distance between these two numbers is just actually equal to 2 of these, right? Because that's like the whole distance between the two. You divide by 2, you're going to get one of those. So, okay, so what is our range? So our range is, the range, I mean big guy minus small guy. Isn't that just 6? And if you do 6 divided by 2, you get 3. So if you think about it, it's our x bar is 23.5 minus 3, that gives you 20.5. 23.5 plus 3, that gets you 26.5. So that's equal to your EBM, which is equal to the sigma, 2 times sigma over the square root of n. Okay, so I think you're okay. I know I do these kind of fast, but you can stop them, rewind them, watch them again, right? And just, I know you love me, but you can do that, okay? So I hope you're okay, and ask me during our Zooms, and we can do more of these on the board, and we'll be good. Okay, see you guys.